Hello children, in this class we will discuss the exercise part of lesson 6 Fire and Will, Social Studies class 3. I request all of you to take out page 230 A. Fill in the blanks with the correct answers. 3 options are given here. We have to choose one which is correct. 1. Humans ate their food days before the discovery of fire. The answer is option C, raw. It means that when fire was not discovered, early humans ate their food raw without cooking. Next, 2. Animals and early humans were afraid of death. The answer is option B, fire. So, animals and early humans were afraid of fire because they did not know how to control the fire. 3. Early humans used dash ropes to travel on water. The answer is wooden. Option B, wooden. Early humans used wooden ropes. When the early humans saw the logs of wood floating on the water, what they did, they collected them together and they tied. And they made ropes to travel on water, which was the first means of transport. 4. Dash was used to cover their bodies. The answer is skin of animals. So, the early humans did not use cloth to cover their body. They used skin of animals to cover their bodies as clothes. Next, option B. Write T for true and F for false. If the sentence is true, write T in the given box, and if it is false, write F in the given box. 1. Fire could be created by rubbing 2 wet stones together. That is false. Why? Because fire was created by the early humans by rubbing 2 dry stones, not wet stones. When they made tools, stone tools, they used to rub the stone tools together. So, fire could be created by rubbing 2 dry stones, not wet stones. So, question 1, the statement is false. 2. Early humans used logs of wood to make ropes. It is true. Yes, early humans used logs of wood to make ropes to travel through water. They collected logs of wood and tied them together. 3. Square wheels made it easier to drag carts over land. That is false. Why? Because square wheels were not used. So, round logs of wood, were used. And round logs of wood made it easier to drag carts over land. Next, 4. Long distance travel became easy after the wheel was invented. Yes, the sentence is true. Why? Because before, when wheel was not invented, the early men used to move from one place to another by walking on foot. And they also carry loads on their backs. But when wheel was discovered, it became easier for the early humans to travel to long distance from one place to another. So the sentence is true. Next, C. Answer these questions. I request all of you to write it in your social studies notebook, both the questions and answers. 1. How did early humans use fire to make their food? The answer is fire was used to cook and roast meat, which helped the early humans get their food. So, how did the early humans use fire to make their food? The early humans used fire to cook and roast meat. When fire was not discovered, the early humans used to eat raw, but after the discovery of fire, they started cooking their food and roasting meat. Next, 2. In the beginning, why were early humans afraid of fire? The answer is early humans were afraid of fire because they did not know how to control it. So, before, the early humans were afraid of fire. Why? Because they did not know how to control the fire. That is why they were afraid of fire. 3. What was the potter's wheel used for? Potter's wheel was used to make clay pots and pans. So the early humans used potter's wheel. Okay. This potter's wheel was used to make clay pots and pans, in which they used to store food and cook food. 4. Which was one of the earliest means of transport? That is, wooden ropes and carts were the earliest means of transport. The early humans made wooden ropes to travel through the water and carts to carry things from one place to another. So, wooden ropes and carts were the earliest means of transport, were the first means of transport used by the early humans. 5. How did the invention of fire make life easier for early humans? The answer is, fire helped in keeping the people warm in the cold. Since animals were afraid of fire, lighting fire could be used to scare the wild animals away. So, how did the invention of fire make life easier for early humans? When early humans discovered fire, life became easier for them. How? Because the fire helped the early humans in keeping warm in the cold. And also they used fire to protect themselves from wild animals. Why? Because animals were afraid of fire. So they used fire to protect themselves from the wild animals, as the animals were afraid of fire. Meat was softer when roasted and tasted better. Fire helped the early humans cook their food. And the fire, after the discovery of fire, the early humans also started cooking their food, and before they used to eat raw meat. But when fire was discovered, what they did? They ate meat by roasting. Okay, they roast meat, and when the meat were roasted, it became softer, and also the meat tasted better after roasting, after cooking in the fire. So in this way, fire made life easier for early humans. 6. What are the uses of wheel? The answer is, wheel helped people to travel long distances. They were also helpful in carrying loads. Potter's wheel helped to make clay pots and pans, which were used in cooking and storing food. So, when wheel was invented, when wheel was made for the first time, how it helped the early humans? Wheel helped the early humans to travel to a long distance from one place to another, and also wheel helped the early humans to carry loads, to carry things from one place to another. And also the potter's wheel. Okay, there was a wheel which was known as potter's wheel. They used potter's wheel for making clay pots and pans, and the clay pots and pans were used in cooking. The early humans used for cooking and storing their food. So dear children, I hope you understood about the exercise part of lesson 6, fire and wheel. Thank you. Have a nice day.